Welcome back, folks, to Fishing Planet. And today is a little bit different video. You guys have been talking about comps and stuff about it quite a bit lately and wanting to see what I think was wrong with comps and why I don't do them anymore. And I want to be very clear. I also don't do comps just because I'm not super competitive. The only reason I did the comps anyway is just to see that I could do them and I was a decent player, on the comp side of it. Once I got to a point, I just actually uh, quit playing them. So that's part of it too. So I don't want to make this all like the reason I don't do them is everything on this list. So, with that being said, uh, I do want to say a couple things so it doesn't seem like I'm nagging on Fishing Planet when I do this. They are a small team that does a very good job. They are compared to other games. I want to be very clear about that. This isn't a rip on Fishing Planet on their comps. This is just what I feel is an issue with comps, and I'm gonna be doing these in order from 5 to 1. 1 being the most important problems, and then also 2. I do want to be clear. So if we go into here, they are working on these comps. So if we go into, um, let's see the comps, you guys will know within just the last how long, they've actually added more X Series gear to win and some things like that. So they are working on this, and I don't want to put it in a negative light. Some of the times when you do a top 5 bad video, I want to be very clear. I feel like they're working on it, so I don't want that to come across as, oh, Fishing Planet's not doing a good job with comps. So let's get started with the list. At number 5 for me is while they did, in fact, go ahead and add to the X Series gear on each comp, which is a huge thing and a huge improvement. Once you have the X Series gear, like for this comp, in fact, I have all the gear that you can have because I've won this comp and done well in it. This is a comp I have all the gear for. So once you get all the X Series gear from it, there's not a lot of reason to do this comp now, unless you're a person that worries about your competitive rank, in getting your rating higher. At number 4, we've talked about this a little bit before. This is the active competitions leaderboard. Not to say that's completely broken, but we've talked about it before. This is more about an accumulation of points than it is a active leaderboard for current competitions. And just to point out one of these points, just to show you, you guys can see here, I am still ranked 81. I have not done a competition in at least 9 months. So I shouldn't even be on this leaderboard if this was an active competitions leaderboard. Now, I have dropped from the top 50, but still, if I feel like I haven't done competitions in 9 months, I should be taken off of this thing. And that's just one of the points there, guys. At number 3, we're starting to get into the more important ones here, the ones I feel are really important. At number 3 is bag dumping. If you guys don't know what bag dumping is, I'm not trying to promote it. It's very contrary. I can't stand this. If you look under rules and restrictions, the winner is determined by the total weight in the keep net at the end of the competitions. A lot of competitions have this, and what you'll find is people will dump their bag if they're not doing well. This is a very annoying big problem. We've talked about it in streams before. This is something I refuse to do for more than one reason. Not only does it feel like cheating, but honestly, the reason I never did it is because the threat of losing points will make you much better at something. Um, but to be honest, this actually hurts quite a bit, and it affects more than this comp or the competitions that have these bag dumpings, which is a lot of them, a majority of them, or a fair amount of them anyway. It hurts the other competitions that don't have it. People will focus on these because they can lose or because they can dump their bags out. For example, right here are two very popular ones in the middle of the night. So they're very comparable. You got a popular um, carp comp and a popular bass comp, and you can see here because you can dump bags in this. There's 140 people. And in this one, because you can't dump your bag, there's only 57. They're back to back, times are the same. They're both popular fish. And you guys can see the major differences that this causes. This is one you can't dump your bag on right here. At number two, guys, is they get repetitive. So this is a big one for me. For example, you guys know Salmon Clash was my favorite comp when I did them. But all comps, including Salmon Clash, uh, are about the same every time you do them. The rules don't change with them. Within them, you can only use spinning tackle. And what ends up happening is, sure, scores can be slightly different because of weather patterns, but essentially you're using the same type of tackle, in the same type of spots, and every comp, and that can get boring doing the same exact thing over and over, and that's one issue that I currently have. It would be really cool if the points are based on the same thing, but maybe one time you had to use float tackle or bottom tackle or something else. Now it's kind of hard for Fishing Planet to implement, but uh, that's one of the problems is just they get repetitive after a while. You're doing the same thing every time. At number one, I want to be very clear about this in particular because the one person that I'm using right here, uh, I want to be very clear on. I don't think this person is trying to actively hurt the game or cheat. I'm just using this because I know this is a fact and I know this player. When I say this, keep this in mind. But people having multiple accounts. This player here has multiple accounts. And like I said, I'm not trying to make this player look bad. I really genuinely don't think this player is trying to actively hurt the game or anything like this. But because I don't like to show stuff without facts, uh, I'm not going to point out a bunch of random people or nothing. But the multiple accounts has gotten out of control, completely out of control by teams and not teams alike. You see this in tournaments as well. It has gotten just ridiculous. People have been talking about this and doing videos on this for a little bit. I've refrained from it, but it is a real problem when we are talking about competitions and tournaments too. And the reason I'm showing this is just proof. I don't want to be the person that's like randomly says, "Oh, a bunch of people are doing this or whatever," without proof. And this is a real problem. This isn't just teams doing it or just low players or whatever. It's a real issue, and it does take away from amateur comps. It takes away from tournaments. It takes away from regular comps. And like I said, teams, it's not just teams either. It's non-team players as well doing this. And I want to be very clear on that. And if you didn't know, multiple accounts on a platform with competitions is definitely not allowed. Now I've blocked the other account, the name on it. You'll see it's blacked out there. And the reason for that is I don't think, for one, I don't think this person's actively using it in comps and tournaments or in a malice way towards the game, and also to protect his name and team because this is probably the name most people would recognize him from. And the other account that I showed earlier, that name gets changed more than people change their underwear. So I'm not too worried about showing that name off. That being said, folks, this is a very serious problem. I cannot state this enough. While this player isn't using multiple accounts, I don't believe, to cheat. There is a lot of people that are, and it hurts a lot of comps and tournaments, especially amateur tournaments, a lot too. So it is a real problem. In the background, you can see I blocked this player's personal information because I am not trying to have this player targeted, but I want to show proof of this because this is a very hard thing to say without proof and have people expect you to believe it. But on the left, you can see the person is talking about their employment with to Fishing Planet, and on the right, you can see that the player's ID, which you saw in competitions. Now, I do have a problem with this because this person has had knowledge of stuff that other people don't for the last year. And I don't think any employee of Fishing Planet should be competing competitively. I've never seen this in the game. I don't know how many Fishing Planet employees play, and I'm not trying to make them look bad. This might be just a simple oversight on their thing. They might not even realize it. But I have never, hands down, out of the games we covered, never seen anybody competitively compete that is an employee of the game, especially one that has knowledge of stuff other people don't. And I see that as a real issue. Like I said, I'm not trying to target this person, but if I had just said Fishing Planet employees can play competitively, or people with inside knowledge playing competitively, you would have thought I was crazy, and I wouldn't blame you. So, like I said, not trying to target this person at all, but this is a real problem, and if I don't know if there's more people that do this, I don't know. Probably just a simple oversight by Fishing Planet. But down below, guys, let me know what you guys are good and bad about comps. I really want to hear what you guys say about this, of what you feel about comps. And this isn't a video I really would have liked to have done. I don't like to try to put a negative light on Fishing Planet, but you guys have been asking about comps, and there's been some real issues with comps recently. Obviously, I'm not the only person talking about this. But anyway, guys, you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time, folks.